the shitty phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me? That is like the biggest lie I've generally ever heard, like, people perpetuate and so on and so forth. Because, yeah, these people yelling at me have never actually, like, made me feel bad about myself or anything like that. But there is, like, a psychological effect of, like, enough people yell at you for a thing, you will just eventually just, like, no matter how ready for it you are, no matter, like, how insane the person is, you subconsciously will still pick up on that negativity and react to it. Even if, like, you know that they're insane pants. I'd start yelling back and getting more agitated. Yeah, and it's kind of the problem. It's like, I know not to yell back, because most of the time, I mean, not even in the same vein. There was a, so I was playing Swords and Souls Never Seen, and I was talking about how really, really long games annoy me nowadays. Because I love games with, like, some meat to them. You know, it's fun playing a game that has longevity. But let's see, is there anything else? Do you wanna try floor 4? Let's go to floor 4 and see how far I can go. It'll always get under your skin. Kinda, sort of. No matter how many times people yell at me to get a real job, it only gets under my skin that people don't think of my work as work. Even if it's insane pants. But no, I was playing Swords and Souls Never Seen a couple of days ago, and I was talking about how let's see, what was it? How longer games get on my nerves, because it's hard to do a series on a game that's like 80 hours long. I'm really enjoying well, some stuff just warps back home. That's probably fine. Let's see. I'm just gonna move some of these down. Should have quick moved it, but you know what? Whatever it was, I think it was actually 2 warp home items that warped home, which is really amusing. But yeah, so just talking about, like, yeah, it was hard for me to play Persona 5 for 100 hours. Like a 100-hour playthrough, because, like, good lord, that game is not short, and the mechanics don't really, like, hold it up. And I got somebody that was actually quite upset at me, not necessarily because I said that long games are bad, or that anybody that likes long games is a moron or anything like that. Far from it. I was just saying I don't like them, but this person takes personal umbrage to the fact that, ow, took extreme, like, they were. You could tell by the way they were writing it, they were quite frustrated and had, like, a chip on their shoulder writing the message. And yeah, they were just upset at me because I had a different opinion from them. And, you know, it's not going to bother me, but it's still, like, in my head for the day of, like, I managed to piss somebody off by having a different opinion and preference to them. And yeah, you can't save or protect everybody along the way. Does anybody have a list of games Wander has to complete? No, but it is a long list, and it sucks. It is very long. Actually, I'm just gonna grab the merchant mirror. We want to get rid of the iron bar, the life fluid, the coil engine. We're gonna get rid of the fire gem. I technically need them, but I can also buy them, so there's no reason I should hoard them. Yeah, they were upset because they placed an unhealthy amount of importance on your interests and disliked how you're not validating their decisions. Yeah, that's probably exactly it. But it bothers me a little bit, that people put that much weight in my opinions. Like, I'm cool with people being like, oh man, Wander likes this game, awesome. But it bugs me when people get unreasonably upset at me, say when I say I don't like Minecraft that much. That was actually the other major controversial opinion I had recently. I was talking about how I don't really enjoy Minecraft's visual style and so on and so forth. And I had a lot of people that were like upset, just like, you could just mod it all out and, you know, make it look really nice and then it'll look better than Dragon Quest Builders. And I'm like, that's not what I was saying. And, you know, they were mad. And, you know, I'm not saying that Minecraft's a bad game. I'm just saying it's not a game that I enjoy. Let's see. So do I ever, we're gonna change topics a little bit. So do I ever plan on completing games that I haven't finished, or are they forever lost? It varies. Actually, if you check my YouTube channel right now, you can actually see that I'm finally finishing a game that has been on hiatus for almost a year. I guess. Ow. Well. This guy doesn't actually hurt nearly as much. This game really needs animation canceling and stuff. Oh, I should try rolling through enemies and seeing if that gets me anything. Ooh, new weapon. I don't think I have the bits to unlock it, though, which kind of sucks. Let's see. Yep, can't do it. The drawing doggy game. Yeah, Okami. I believe it was. Yep. So I'm finally putting out the last couple episodes of Okami. Well, last couple. The second half of Okami. I think it's going to end up being like 30, 40 episodes. Unless I really, like, condense the series or something, which I could very well do. But yeah, so that's a game that I'm finishing. But again, in finishing Okami, it is like an extra 20 hours of footage that hadn't been put up on YouTube or anything like that. Like, it's actually really difficult for me to sit down and find like 20 spare hours in a given month to go back and finish a game. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have had to do this before, but, like, when you were a student, if you're currently a student, when you get an assignment, but say you get sick, or you get, like, 10 assignments in a week, you have to say, okay, so here's the ones that I can finish right now. And, you know, I'm just gonna, you know, put some of these, well, I'm not gonna say it's the procrastination effect, but, you know, imagine you get an extension on a project, but you also have like 5 more projects that you have to do because of it. So even if you had time off because you were sick or something like that, you still got to go back and finish that work. But you also have to finish every other assignment that came out along the way. I think that's the only way I can like properly describe it. Yeah, hard even more when new games fresh from the oven launch every day. Yup. And so, sometimes I get really lucky and we get like a week or two where there's nothing and I can really sit down and finish stuff. And I can really sit down and say like, yeah, I'm just going to play a shit ton of Judgment until I'm done with it. Or a time period where I can say like, yep, I'm just going to play nothing but Dragon Quest Builders for a 2-week period and finish it. But yeah, I remember back when I was in high school, I got the flu. And it wasn't, like, too bad, but it was one of those where if I had to do, homework, it was going to be nonsense and terrible. And so, I pretty much took, like, 1 or 2 weeks off of school and just sat around being sick. And I got back from school, and I very distinctly remember my biology teacher being like, well, you should have been doing these labs while you were sick, you know, coming in after school or on the weekend or whatever to get them done. You know, I'm here all the time, and I'm like, I had, like, one hell of a fever. I don't think you wanted me here. Well, fine, okay, but you have to do every lab that you missed, and it's like 5 labs. So get cracking But also, I'm not going to let you do any of them during class, which means you have to come in after school. But I have volleyball practice, so I can only do this on, you know, X day, and I need them all by, like, next Tuesday, so that you're not lagging behind class too much. And it was one of those where, like, if you sat down and actually looked at what she was asking me to do, she wanted me to do effectively 5 in-class labs in one afternoon, and do well on it. And I ended up doing 3, and got C's and D's, and she took me aside and told me how disappointed she was in me, and I'm like, I had the flu, lady. Like, I get that education is important, and like, you know, I should finish the work that I was assigned, but like, I played volleyball. No, she was the volleyball coach. I'm gonna be honest, she is one of the she is one of the worst teachers I've ever had, because it was very clear she was there almost exclusively because she wanted to coach volleyball. She didn't really have a whole lot of interest in biology, because half the time when we were in class, she was just hanging out with her volleyball players, you know, chatting them up, instead of actually doing anything, you know, teaching related. I'm not entirely sure if it's a valid comparison, but was it? No, I don't remember the name of the show. It was the teen singing show. And there was that, like, the militant coach lady that, like, didn't respect anybody. Very similar personality, but maybe slightly less mean, just mostly uncaring. But yeah, she truly did not care about any of her students that weren't in volleyball. Glee, there we go. Yeah, whatever that coach's name was. Super similar personality, same haircut. You know, dyed blonde. Very much just like, I only care about my specific interests, and if you somehow inconvenience that, then, you know, you're on my shit list for the rest of the year. And I think she single-handedly tanked my interest in science for most of high school. And it wasn't until, like, I got into physics junior year that I was like, oh yeah, science is actually kind of fun and people don't just suck. Because I know, when I was a sophomore, it wasn't exactly the same... Oh good, we've got a mimic. On the plus side, mimics dropped some interesting bits. But yeah, sophomore year, my school was going through some, I'm not going to say political changes, but they were changing how classes worked. So they switched from 45-minute lessons to hour and 10-minute lessons? Or is it like hour and 15? I'm not entirely sure. Everybody hated the idea. I loved it. It was great. It was harder to remember my schedule, but I'd actually... I don't like switching things around constantly. If you notice, even when I'm streaming, it's very rare for me to only play a game for half an hour. Outside of very specific indie game lightning round type streams. Whatever that is, I don't need it. It was worth a lot, but I don't need it. Let's see. But I would prefer to sit down and play a game for an hour and a half, as opposed to or an hour and a half to like 3 to 5 hours or something like that. At 20 minutes, it's proven people... After 20 minutes, it's proven people lose focus in class. Yeah, that's probably fair. Let's see. Let's just quaff that. My counterpoint is that you lose like a solid 10-15 minutes in every class to the beginning and the end of every... the beginning and end of every class, if that makes sense. You gotta get in, you gotta set up, Maybe if your teacher's mental, they'll do attendance. You might have to go over homework. You might have a quiz. Maybe some instruction or anything like that. And 45 minutes is actually kind of tough to get all that in. I would actually say, also, like, the way classes are set up might have a contribution factor to the whole students losing interest thing. Okay, this ain't worth it. There we go. We're just bailing. That room was awful. Mimic, Flail Man, and one of the invincible fire dudes. I don't want to deal with that. The uni is terrible for me. I never keep attention for 2 to 3 hours. That's... okay, so that's kind of fair. It really depends on the teaching style. I've never learned well from, like, out-of-book teaching. Sit me down with, like, a problem set or things to work on, with the teacher coming around being like, so, do you get what I'm talking about? Or, like, do you understand, this? That's perfect. I absolutely hate, hey, by the way, we're going to just read out of the book for the next, like, 3 hours, and that's just going to be, this psych lesson. As a teacher, 40 minutes is hard to fit stuff in. Really? I guess this is probably one of those personal opinion things that, for me, I absolutely loved the longer class, because it meant I could focus on the thing and I didn't have to, like, sit down and switch. Because I always hated switching classes. It never felt very comfortable to me. Let's see, is it daytime? I think it's daytime. But I can totally see how trying to fit in a 40-minute lesson plan could be an issue. I think it also really depends on what you're teaching. Like, I could totally sit down for, like, an hour-long lesson on calculus and probably enjoy it, especially because I like... well, okay. I guess part of it is, I feel like you should almost have half of the class be instruction, and then the other half is straight up go do your homework in class, and the teacher will go around. And then whatever you can't finish in class gets sent home as proper homework. That might not have been a bad solution, but again, I don't know. I'm too far removed from school. And the other thing is, I went to I mean, I was an artist. I am an artist. So when I went to school, my experiences with classes were, I would go to class for like 2 to 3 hours and just hang out, work, do critique, and then eventually go home. Let's see. And there wasn't this feeling of... I mean, there might be a feeling of fatigue, but it was a little bit more loosey-goosey, so it wasn't an issue. Let's see. We might as well buy as many of these as possible while we're here. We want another one of these feathers. Because, yeah, the more of this stuff we can pick up, the more I can grab. I'm comfortable switching classes by having to revisit a component with attendance amongst a completely new class, then add autism and anxiety to the mix. Enjoy. Eee. Okay, I swear one of these needed a firestone. Nope. Nothing needed spare firestones. I just bought a whole bunch of them for no goddamn reason. Oh, he restocked. So he probably just restocks every time you go into the dungeon. Well, whatever. Should be fine. They don't send home anything more than 20 minutes of work. That's nice. I remember my chemistry teacher would send home 5 hours of work. I think it was a week, which actually wasn't too bad. Okay, so if we actually make enough... No. We need more of that, like, weird crystal stuff. I was about to say we might even be able to max my spear out soon. But no, what do I need for this stuff? Oh, I gotta go back into the dungeon to get it. I guess it's time to go make some money. Let's see. But no, I don't know. I just really enjoyed as an art student being able to sit down and, yeah, focus on what I was working on for not a short period of time. Because normally it was so... Let me just take these back. It was so, like, quick and snappy and just like, alright, get up, do your class, then leave, move on to the next one. I guess it also depends on how big your school is, because I really don't enjoy travel times. You know, if I were to go to school again, I would never pick any of my classes to be, far away from each other. Because that is one of my, like, least favorite things to do, is get up, walk, like, 10-15 minutes away to get to the next location, kind of rinse repeat until you're done for the day. Just let me go to one building. Let's see. Just toss those things in. I might need the fire... I'm probably going to need the firestones for other stuff. We'll see. I'm going to need the wires. I don't remember what I needed there. Yeah, to maximize class time, have all the answers, not the work online, so students can check their work and come in with questions. That makes sense. I don't know. I'd love to see... I realize it would be hard to revamp the school system, but I'd love to see like an extremely optimized education system. Maybe there's like private schools that do that sort of thing. I know for me, like, going to school was fun, and I was pretty okay at it, but there were definitely, like, some, like, weird problems. I was just like, why is this the way that it is? Oh, okay, these are underpriced. 20,000 is too much, 10,000 is too little. Let's just shoot for 15,000. I don't really care if they don't, sell that fast. I just mainly want to get up to 2, maybe 3 million if I can. Semester at college where I had to travel to campus 30 minutes from the other campus. Then back to the closer campus, then back again. Then back home. Why? Oh god, that's awful. Get out of here, bird. Preacher. Okay, there we go. Wait for a bit. I must attend. I must sell. I must attend. I must sell. Must attend. Okay, we good? They are cleaning me out, by the way. Which is nice. Yeah, I'm already back up to 2 million pretty quick. Attend. Oh, there's somebody I could have attended to, but oh well. Okay. Sell everything. Leave nothing remaining, apparently. Gladly. What does my assistant do? Is she only useful for running the shop when I'm not here? Okay, so 10,000 is way too much for these bones. I guess I kind of knew that. We'll do 3,000. Somebody will buy them at that price. Okay, so talk. What? Talk? Yes? Okay. I don't know argon bottles. Yeah, so the other thing is some of these characters actually will give me good deals on the things that the dimensional trader has. And I gotta remember to talk to them, because it's easier than getting the stuff from the dimensional trader, dude. Wow, these are worth nothing. Well, that's fine. Honestly, to the bargain bin with them. There's more of these people. No. 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 There's nothing left for you to buy here. It's just the stuff in the bargain bin and that's it. Can I just hold to close the shop? I can. I have no idea how long the shop would remain open, but like, Ripes, there's nothing else for me. Alright, well, we made a whole bunch of cash. Let's go upgrade my spear. I might be able to get it twice with those new bits, if we're lucky. No. Only once. Okay, so we need 2 more of those spiky things. I don't remember what's required for them. How much does stuff in the bargain bin sell for? I think it's slightly more than what you'd be able to make selling it to the warp thing. I don't know, actually. Let's see, did I end up? I don't think I did. Was there any armor that I can make? No, no. No. But I'm getting closer to getting it. So let's just clear my inventory out. And then go back into that dungeon, because I'm feeling pretty good about myself. A couple more runs like that and I'll have a full loadout. Let's see. Should probably pick up a couple more healing potions, maybe? Maybe. Once my gear's totally maxed out and enchanted, I think I'm probably going to just race to the bottom. And just ignore everything, just stack potions and just heal my way to victory. If it works. Should work. Let's see. Hello everybody, how goes it? Wander was in a ranty mood and now I've made everybody mad. Not like mad at me, but everybody's just in a ranty mood too. Oh, I didn't get the chance to... I don't even know what floor I warped to. Guess we'll find out soon. Man, that upgraded spear does work on this level. Yoink! Well, we just sent something home. Almost all this stuff is breakable. Let's just sell the lot of it. Because I'd rather just have that money in the in my pocket instead. Let's see. Thank you, Commander David, for the 8-month resub. How's life? Hopefully you are less passionate about things. Yeah, it's a venting kind of day. I think part of it is, yesterday... Well, not exactly yesterday. This isn't exactly something I can pin on anybody else. Ow. I don't know. I just... Some days I'm just like, my opinions must be heard, even if no one cares. I will say it anyway. It's weird. I wonder if part of it is, so, I live a life of relative isolation. The only other person that I know and have constant contact with is Shell. Other than that, I usually am pretty much on, kept to myself here. Which really isn't that big of a deal, but, I don't actually get to talk about my opinions with people like-minded or otherwise. Because I don't really feel like getting into actual arguments with people online, because it's very rarely productive. You know, most people will either totally agree with me or just, like, call me a cuck. And it's just like, alright, I'm done. And so, my, like, isolation makes me not exactly bottle up my feelings on anything, but it's just like, I mean, imagine if you had nobody to talk to about, you know, things that you believed in or were interested in. After a while, you're like, shit, I kinda... Okay, we've done some harm to her. Yep, they're gone. Because, yeah, if it falls into that green vortex, I just don't get it back. Luckily, it didn't take anything useful. Also, poison elemental amulet? Poisons enemies. Holy butts. That's really good. That's better than that ring. Okay, so we want to keep the dimensional junk. We're getting to the point where we might not need so much of it. But yeah, I now have poison damage on my spear. That's really freaking good. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just haven't been around people lately. I need to I guess last Sunday I got a message from Joe asking if people wanted to like hang out and do things that night. And this is like, I didn't get the message until like an hour or two after I had started streaming, so it was like super not gonna happen. Cause no way was I going to like drop stream right then and there and be like, alright guys, gotta go, it's I'm gonna go hang out with Joe. I mean, I could have done that, and it probably would have been kind of acceptable, but I don't think anybody actually did anything. But he'd mentioned potentially like me hosting like a get-together. I'm actually super down for the idea, but my house is a mess, and we spent a significant portion of today cleaning up, which is good. But so we're getting it to the point where, yeah, if people wanted to, they could actually come and hang out at my place. The next thing I gotta figure out is what the hell do adults do when they hang out? Because like every time that we've hung out until recently, either somebody had like a massive yard, so it wasn't like a big deal, or, well, I'm not getting any of that slime, and that's fine. Yeah, talk. Pretty much, that's... Because I don't carry, like, a supply of, like, alcohol or anything. I'm not super interested in going out of my way to, like, picking up a small supply of, like, beer for people. Because then if none of it gets drank, I'm in trouble. I guess I could just get sake. Because I'll just get stuff that I'll drink. That's probably the next solution. The other thing is we only have a 6-person dining room table, which is a little limiting, and then a couch on its own in another room. And then the other place would be straight up upstairs at my recording setup, which is a little bit more cramped. Could definitely fit like 4 chairs in front of my TV for like Mario Party and stuff. But my problem is like, yeah, D&D is an option, and it's super tempting for me to just invite people over at some point and be like, I'm just gonna host like a one-shot D&D campaign this evening. I don't know what it's going to be, but like it sucks outside, so let's... That poison effect is not quite as good as I was hoping it would be, but it's still good.